Number 4, Finn McGrath. Number 5, James Murphy. Number 6, Cam Lindley. Number 8, Jack Blake. Number 22.
Got to think of my Elvis in Vegas jokes tonight.
That sounds.
Yep.
Number 27.
I have not used Elvis has left the building. He has not shanked one so bad yet. Because frankly, he doesn't take many shots. I mean, he waits till the ball gets in the 6 and then steers it home. He's very efficient.
Number 30.
Maybe I'll just throw a curveball question your way. What's your best Vegas memory? You know?
I don't remember, but I'm told it was really fun. So my best Vegas moment or memory is the fact that when I did the radio for IUPUI, we played Southern Utah every year, and we stayed in Vegas because Southern Utah is 2.5 hours away. We would practice at UNLV, and we would stay night before and night of the game in Vegas and fly out the next day. So I got a free trip to Vegas 9 years running. There you go.
And the captain of your Indy 11 wearing number 14.
Okay. What about Wish TV? Okay. Well, you just tell me when they join, and I'll welcome our nationwide audience. I discovered that CBS Sports Galazzo was on Roku when I was staying at the same house I'm going to tomorrow last year in Michigan. I'm flipping around, and on a Sunday night, I'm like, well, there's Spokane from League One. Like, oh, I get Galazzo as a channel here. Awesome. How old was Regan when he was the interim coach here? Had been like 32, 33, right?
Sounds about right.
In that neighborhood?
Yeah, I don't know exactly. But... Is he still involved with the
Bradley?
Peoria team at all?
I believe he's with Bradley University still.
Right, I thought he did a little bit with that Peoria, like USL 2 or something at one point.
Yep.
The Indy 11 to take to the field is who we are. What a moment for this city.
Hey, there's you drinking.
Fight, scrap, tackle. Give everything for the shirt.
Summer is here, both in terms of temperature as well as on the calendar. And what the Indy 11 have called the summer of soccer continues as well. 5 consecutive Saturday nights of home matches. They hope for the same result as a week ago. Tonight, the opponent, the Las Vegas Lights, a team that bested the Indy 11 3-2 in Vegas last August. Thanks for joining us on Wish TV and the CBS Sports Galazzo Network. Alongside Brad Ring, my name is Greg Rakestraw. And obviously, Brad, things have changed for the Indy 11. They have won each of their last 2 matches. They have been grinders in 1-0 fashion. How is Sean McCauley's team now approaching things differently?
I think this is more like they wanted to play all year, to be quite honest. Lower scoring games, better defensive efforts. You've seen back-to-back 1-0 victory, being better to fit the shutouts.
Well, seemingly the breaking point from a defensive standpoint may have been the match on May 28th against Hartford. Now, that was a match where the Indy 11 did get a point. Romario Williams got a brace in that match, but they gave up 4 goals in the opening 46 minutes. They've been a lot more stingy since that time.
Yeah, look, it's hard to get wins or any points if you're giving up 3-4 goals. So the shift and the emphasis and the priority that's been put on the defensive side of the ball has been great, and it's leading to 3 points here in back-to-back weeks.
Well, back-to-back clean sheets for Hunter Solt, but obviously the guys in front of him playing well also, and that includes Benefemu, who has been a stalwart since he got here last April, and this week he's on the USL Championship Team of the Week. What have you seen from Ben so far this season?
Yeah, well-deserved accolades for Ben. Just a steady player all around. Big, physical, fast. He's dangerous when he gets forward on corner kicks and set pieces. And he's also very disciplined. For a guy who's played in 10 games so far this year, he only has 1 yellow card, so he's a smart player as well.
For Las Vegas Lights, they had their best season in franchise history a year ago, but Dennis Sanchez has moved on to New Mexico United. They made a coaching change a week ago. Giovanni Trois is now their interim head coach, and Brad, they bounced back with a 2-0 victory against Monterey Bay a Saturday ago.
Yeah, look, coaching changes can invigorate and inspire the team at times. I was certainly part of a number of them during my time as a pro and here at Indy 11. So it did its purpose the first game, right? Can this be sustained, though? And we'll see tonight how they come out and play against Indy 11.
Johnny Rodriguez had the brace to get Las Vegas on the board. Their offense has been struggling all season long. Indy 11 has not beaten Las Vegas in 2 previous matchups, looking to rectify that and make it 3 straight W's this evening. Las Vegas Lights, Indy 11 starting lineups, opening kickoff. Come your way next. You're watching Indy 11 Soccer on Wish TV and the CBS Sports Golazo Network. Tonight's match is presented by the Health Sport of Indy 11 Soccer. Visit your local Ford dealer today for great deals on your favorite Ford vehicle.
This is Molly. She loves road trips, hikes, her dog Max, and cars that fit her lifestyle, like this cool new ride that she got with help from Indiana Members Credit Union at a great low rate. And for when she's on the go, IMCU makes it easy for her to pay from anywhere thanks to their digital banking. Looks like Molly is really getting the max from her credit union.
It's very true that it takes a village to raise a child. And when it comes to my healthcare village at Community Health Network, it's all nestled right in my phone. Accessing healthcare is the ability to be connected with your provider and ask a question when you need it. I feel like when I'm meeting with a community nurse practitioner or doctor, they're tuned in to what is going on with me and the way that they can serve me best.
Stand by me. Find it, try it, paint it, love it. 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 Find it, try it, paint it, love it, love it, love it, love it.
The USL on CBS is presented by Best Western Hotels and Resorts, the official hotel partner of the United Soccer League. Let's get right to our Central Indiana Ford dealer starting lineups. A proud sponsor of 11 Soccer in the category, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Same lineup they trotted out the last 2 weeks when the Indy 11 picked up a 1-0 victory. Same subs as well for head coach Sean McCauley. For the Las Vegas Lights, again, scoring has been the issue. Rodriguez had the brace last week. And for Vegas, you'll see a familiar name, Yunus Boudadi, who was here for the entirety of the 2023 season, was traded for Romario Williams at midseason last year. And Raiko Arozarena, who we know from his time with the Tampa Bay Rowdings, is in goal for the Lights. Thank you so much for joining us on this warm and humid yet windy Saturday night in downtown Indianapolis. Wish teams that made it easier to distinguish the two squads. Bit of a different, stylish look for the Indy 11. Amo tried to draw the early contact, did not get it from Peters. Las Vegas played here for the first time in 2023. That may have been the most bus parking I have ever seen by a visiting team playing to a 0-0 draw very early in the season. Last year's matchup was quite the opposite. Of note, that match last year for the Indy 11 was 3 days before the Open Cup semifinal against Sporting Kansas City. So Indy played a very rotated squad. All 5 goals in the first half of that 3-2 loss to Las Vegas on August 24th last year. By the way, this wind is a crosswind. This is an east-west pitch we have here. It is coming in from the south, and we have ourselves a dead ball because J.C. Griggs, our match official, had the ball played off of him by James Murphy. The injury report is brought to us by Community Health Network Sports Medicine, official sports medicine provider of the Indy 11. It is the one-man report. Aiden Stanley out for the season due to a torn ACL. Brad, in your opinion, how have the Indy 11 adapted without having last year's leading shot creator, 9 assists for Aiden? How have they changed how they play without Stanley in that left back spot?
Yeah, I think Rob's done a decent job in there. I think they've done well. Right? This is a talented roster. They got guys they can move around, play different positions. Obviously here, as of late, Cam Lindley is kind of the insertion into the starting lineup, and since he's been in, results have gone our way.
That'll be a foul against Nigro. Gennaro Nigro, the guilty party. Rendon using that speed, and an immediate yellow is shown to one of the 5 defenders for the Las Vegas Lights, and it'll be the equivalent of a short corner coming up here for the Indy 11.
Yeah, Rendon does a great job. Just kind of a speed move on around the outside, and you can clearly see tugging under his shorts there.
He has become the speed that Indy uses down that right flank.
Yeah, absolutely. And look, bringing a guy like Foster off the bench is not a bad thing. That is a dangerous player to bring in when legs are heavy in the second half, and he can create some things here later in the game.
So Murphy, one of 2 players standing over the ball. Aiden Quinn being the other. Aiden picked up his 5th assist of the season on the Jack Blake goal at the end of the first half last week against Pittsburgh.
We'll see who takes this here. I personally like the in-swinger from Quinn.
Ball headed down back post, asked for a handball, and I think it's going to be a handball called against the Indy 11. Let's get to our keys to this match. They are presented by your Central Indiana Ford dealers, proud sponsor of the Indy 11. Brad, what are you focusing on for the home team?
Yeah, I think we've hit it a couple times, right? But it's the defensive turnaround the last couple games. They let in, Indy has let in a lot of goals early in the season. They've kind of shaped it up. They've kind of reprioritized a little bit. More balance on the defensive side, back-to-back shutouts. So it's that turnaround that's making a big difference for him. And then the next one is playing through Aiden Quinn. He's the captain, leader of the team. He got an assist last week, 5th assist of the season. The team does better when they play through him.
See, Aiden Quinn tonight is his 260th start. That is the most in the history of this league. Now for the Lights, what must they focus on to get a road point or 3 of them this evening?
You know, I'm going to say the 2 kind of most obvious keys to the match you've ever heard, Drake. But one of them is they need to create more chances. Earlier in the year, avoiding the last week's 2-goal game, they were 5 of 6 games where they were scoreless, right? So they're just having a hard time creating chances. Then on the flip side of it, they're doing a decent job defensively. Arozarena has been great when he's been in. Actually, 6 shutouts out of his 10 games, right? So he's doing a good job. So it's really both sides of the ball.
They're late. Fast the home team. You see the weather. And again, in Vegas, that's what, like April or May? Obviously a different type of heat. For us in Indianapolis, today is the first 90-degree day of the year. That's slightly later than normal. But again, it's something that, frankly, the Indy 11 have not had a chance to adapt to yet. So the heat will play a factor. And obviously, we're on turf. The feels-like temperature, the heat index, is right at 100 degrees at kickoff.
Yeah, and as you said, the turf. You know, we were talking kind of before the game started, back in the day, so to speak. I know we played a couple games here in the summer. Pachuca was one of them. I remember someone putting thermometer down on the turf, and I think it was reading in the 130s, right? So the turf gets very, very hot this time of year.
This has been the home of the Indy 11 for 9 of the 12 seasons in which this team has played. All 4 years of the NASL, and now for the last 5 seasons in the USL Championship, with 3 years at Lucas Oil Stadium in the middle. Turnover in the midfield. Indy 11 quick to pounce. Quinn slides it forward. Amo makes the turn. Likes to maintain possession. Amo scored in 5 consecutive matches in late April and early May, and had a world-class goal in the Jägermeister Cup game, the win against Knoxville on Memorial Day weekend. Jägermeister Cup play returns next weekend. For the first time, Indy is at home. They take on Birmingham for a second time this month. A win next week would go a long way towards securing a spot in the quarterfinals and winning their group for the Indy 11. Don't worry about that next weekend. They've got a midweek match against Tampa Bay as well. So it's a very busy stretch of time coming up for the Indy 11.
And this is a big one, to state the obvious, Rake, right? They got coming up with, like you said, the midweek game, another game on the following games, and points for sure. And they're off to a good start. Vegas has the ball right now, but the first 6 or so minutes, Indy's been on the front foot and kind of putting pressure on the Vegas back line.
Rendon steps up. And it's very much a midfield-heavy lineup for the Indy 11. No Romario Williams, out for Gold Cup duty. He's now missing his 3rd consecutive match. We'll talk more about that coming up at halftime. James Musa plays the ball to Cam Lindley. It was a struggle for Cam to get minutes early in the year. He has been a difference maker. They have won both matches he has started. What this has done is kind of allowed both Murphy and Quinn to get further up the field with Lindley onto the pitch.
Yeah, Lindley has helped defensively, I think, just in communication, covering ground. He's also helped in possession. And to your point, this allows Aiden Quinn, Blake, right, in the attacking third.
Murphy does well to get on that one. And then a foul whistle against the lights. The Keystone Group specializes in transformation developments, construction, management, and investments. Thank you, Keystone Group. You see Cam Lindley, the native of Hamilton County, north of Indianapolis, where the Indy 11, of course, trained at Grand Park, played for Garin Catholic High School for basketball. Never played high school soccer because he played at such a high level. Going on to North Carolina. Now his 8th year in the USL Championship. Tonight, the 92nd appearance for Cam in an Indy 11 uniform, as he is climbing the all-time appearance charts. Amo with the pressure, makes the turn. Advantage being played. Amo cuts it back. Indy could have done more with that. It is a throw-in and nothing more for the Indy 11.
Dangerous opportunity. Rendon playing the ball over the top. Amo does a good job fighting for it.
We'll restart here. A little count to be Rodriguez this evening. You see Rendon, the League One Defender of the Year last year, playing for Northern Colorado, and Brad Ring's teammate Eamon Zayed, his head coach each of the last 2 seasons. Blake, nice combo to Rendon, plays it across, and Amo couldn't get much to it. It stood up rather well by the center back for Las Vegas.
Rendon certainly having some early success down the right flank. Good cross there. The play before that, kind of Amo up top was a little unsure. Do I cross? Do I shoot it? He kind of was at a tough angle. Obviously opted to kind of cut it back across towards the penalty marker.
Rendon scored in the 2nd match of the year against Lexington, then got hurt at the end of that match, and it has taken him some time to find that form. Rendon wants the throw in, and Mr. Murphy will concede. Amo. Nigro gets there first. Amo applying pressure and gets the takeaway. Finds Rendon as Blake in support, couldn't cut it back to him. But Murphy, it is touched last by Murphy. Throw in coming for the Las Vegas Lights.
It was a little play by Murphy, a simple play I should say, but he read that the whole way. He saw how Vegas was trying to come out of the left side, did a great job positioning, kind of put the fire out, so to speak, and kept Vegas packed in on top of their defensive third.
The Sports the Match is brought to us by Community Health Sports Medicine, the official sports medicine provider of the Indy 11. Exceptional care simply delivered. Hogan, a stumble. Hogan, who leads the league in clearances. First-year Indy 11 player after spending the last 2 years with the Pittsburgh Riverhounds. Back to a Rosarena. If you're a baseball fan, that name sounds familiar. Yes, Randy is his brother. Back when Randy was playing for the Rays, when Ryko was playing for the Tampa Bay Rowdies. These days, Randy with the Seattle Mariners. Opportunity here, but flag goes up. Benefemu on the team of the week, and you talked about him being a high IQ player. That was the dictionary definition of playing a high line there by Benefemu.
Yeah, really smart. You know, there's veteran guys back there. Certainly Ben is one of them, and they knew what they were doing there. It looked like a dangerous opportunity, but I think they were pretty confident there in the back that they held their line if they were trying to.
Good win away by Blake from Jones. Amo looking for some support. Elvis wants to get around the 6. That's where he can do most of his damage. Elvis at first was asked to be kind of the guy that played the last 10-15 minutes of the match and got on such a heater from a scoring standpoint. He then became a starter and has not left the lineup since.
Yeah, he had an absolute flurry a couple weeks back. Hasn't found the net as much as of late, but certainly a guy that's capable to put the ball in the back of the net.
He's got 8 goals in all competitions. Now, half of those are U.S. Open Cup or Jägermeister Cup goals. He has scored 3 in the Jägermeister Cup and had one against the Philadelphia Union in the last Open Cup match for the Indy 11. It saw them lose in penalties to the Union in early May.
This is really the first kind of sustained possession for Vegas in the attacking half. See if they can create an opportunity from it.
Pinzon. Now Nigro. Nigro thought about the hit from distance. Just kept trying to work an angle. Quinn digs in. And as per usual, Aiden, right place, right time. McRobb. Clean tackle. Throw in coming here for the Indy 11 in minute number 14. You see Yunus Budati. Great to see him back. Had a chance to at least gonna give him a nice wave and a hat tip, so to speak, when he was warming up before the match. Always a fun conversation. He was a big part of getting this team back to the playoffs for the first time in 4 years back in 2023. Magic can show your Indy 11 pride. Get exclusive IMCU Indy 11 debit card at any IMCU branch or online now at imcu.com. You hear that wind kicking up, crosswind of about 15 miles an hour. I'd like to tell you it's a nice, refreshing breeze. It's not. It's warm. It's humid out here tonight. A month from now, we would think nothing of this weather. First time it hits you, you get your attention. Another midfield giveaway. Opportunity here for the Indy 11. McRobb, Quinn, Lindley, Murphy. Good bit of possession here for the Indy 11 now. Ofemu trying to isolate Rendon and let him use his speed. Murphy cuts it back. Amo couldn't get to it, but a lot of space to cover and good pressure by Blake. Looking his ass play a bit more forward in this role currently for the Indy 11. It's an 11 throw in next to the corner flag.
Didn't end up working out, but I like that one-time ball from Murphy, kind of clipping it into Amo.
Blake's goal last week, his 35th in the USL Championship. He had 10 a season ago for the Indy 11. And a brief look at Sean McCauley on the sidelines. He was away from the team this week. Gabe Zapponi handled all of the duties in terms of training for this week. Musa. How about that for a throw? Hogan the flick forward. Can Amo get a turn to it? No. Not out of danger just yet. Now. That ball booted and Lindley all the way back. Hustling, keep that ball away from Rodriguez. And Rodriguez went to the ground knowing that he was the only player in blue within 20 yards. Yeah. Trying to draw a whistle and didn't get it.
He tried it. I want to say Cam Lindley just did a off the back of the head header. It's a rare one, but
if there is a player
appreciated.
If there is a player on the Indy 11 that has that skill, Cam would be that guy that could pull that off.
It was the equivalent of a no-look header.
Blake, the flick. Amo charging forward. Amo wins the foot race. Ball was deflected. Took a lot of the speed off it. Nigro did enough. Amo looking for goal number 5 in league play.
Blake does a great job coming in off this second ball, getting on the end of it. Beautiful little outside of the right pass through for Amo. Nigro does a good job, to be honest, coming in from that left back position to cut him off.
A lot of these Las Vegas players that are new to this team or new to this league are guys that played a next pro. Nigro, 25 years of age. He turned down an offer from Cornell to go train at Manchester City. He's led to having some appearances for Rochdale over in England. Courtesy of Wrexham, we all have more knowledge of League One, League Two, and the National League these days at the lower ends of the English football pyramid.
That's right. It's a good thing.
Good step by Musa. Season finale is next Thursday, by the way, in case Quinn will
compliment, right? When he gets the ball, the game kind of slows down a little bit. He understands the different rhythms of the game, when to speed up, when to slow down. He has this calming effect for Indy when they have the ball and in possession.
Think of my favorite quote from Indiana Pacers head coach Rick Carlisle. He knows the geometry of the game. That is a very apropos way to describe the thought process of Aiden Quinn. Murphy draws the inadvertent contact, but contact nonetheless. Foul called against Las Vegas. That is Leal that laid out Murphy again. I don't think it was intentional, but enough contact there to draw a whistle.
Definitely got him. Those are tough. You know, you feel bad. You certainly elbow someone in the face. That hurts. But your instincts are to get your arms up, protect yourself, protect the ball, kind of shield the incoming player off. Sometimes it looks kind of worse than it was, and I don't think that one was an intentional one.
No. Foul, yes. Card worthy, no. It is a contact sport, as you well know. Rendon, the settling touch. Rendon again gets through contact, plays it across. Amo couldn't get there, but it will be a corner for the Indy 11. I think there's a lot for Sean McCauley to like what he is seeing here in these first 19 or so minutes.
Yeah, look, Las Vegas wants nothing to do with Rendon down the right side. He has been dangerous multiple times. You see a replay here, a little give and go. Certainly could have been a foul there, but Rendon gets the cross off. Really good cross. Amo almost gets on the end of it.
Frankly, Rendon may have been better served if he had just dropped.
Yeah.
But, again, the cross he got was exactly where you want to put the ball. So a corner kick coming for the Indy 11 in minute number 20. So go all the way through. Rendon will give chase. And again, that is a wind-hated cross. It's coming from that part of the park. Nervy moment here, and this is where Las Vegas excels. And how about a Famu?
What a play.
Showing his reason being on the team of the week. To sprint back, get body position correct, and avoid a foul. McRobb all the way through. Rendon around Pinzon. One-time recognition by Murphy. In possession, certainly in favor of the Indy 11. Quinn did not hit that the way he had hoped to. Sports, this match is brought to us by the Keystone Group, specializing in transmission developments, construction management, and investments. You see Cam Lindley looking back into that setting sun. That is an issue for the Indy 11 here in half number 1. Well, as Raiko Arozarena steps on this one, kind of gives us a pause to welcome a special guest, but one that we are familiar with, Andrea Hamoya of Ash and Elm, the CEO of our great partners with the Boys in Blueberry drink that we talk about. And frankly, I'm not afraid on a hot day to crack one open right here in front of you. It's good to see you. How you been? Good. All right, this one's shaking up a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
Well, good thing I got my notes memorized. I'll let that settle before I enjoy that for the next 70 minutes. I know what's new with you, a new Carmel location. Tell us about it.
Yeah, so we opened a new restaurant and tap room in Carmel just in probably September, and it's been great. We have great food and a ton of cider up there, and we've been really enjoying getting to know the people on the north side.
I cannot think of a better weather day to enjoy a cold cider than one where temperatures in the low 90s.
Yes, it's the most refreshing possible beverage right now.
Why has this partnership been such a good one between Ash and Elm and the Indy 11?
Oh, I think, cider originated in the UK, so did, football is popular in the UK.
True.
There's a lot of that overlap. And then you have, the nice cold beverage and a hot soccer game. So I think it just kind of works.
Love telling your story. You have literally traveled the globe. Tell us a little bit about your background, the different places you have called home before coming to Indianapolis.
Personally, I've grown up in a lot of places. I lived in Africa and Singapore, and then somehow ended up in Indiana.
And why is Indiana the right place to be home for you?
I think it's small enough to build a community, and I think that's something that really matters to me. And, you guys do the same thing with the soccer fans. We've done the same thing with the cider fans in our city, and it's small enough to make an impact if you want to, and I do. Yeah. So yeah, it's been great.
Nigro sends it in. Indy 11 will clear. McRobb will simply knock this ball towards the middle of the park. Well, again, obviously because of my relationship with the Indy 11, Boys and Blueberry is my favorite flavor. What are some of the other most popular flavors these days for Ash and Elm?
Yeah, so Fleeting Youth is our most popular flavor. It's a raspberry and lemon cider. And in June, we do our Pride cider, which is part of why we sponsor the Pride Indy 11 game. And it's called Purple Pride. And it's a hibiscus and pineapple cider. And it is like bright purple when you pour it out and super refreshing. And it's always one of our most popular one-off ciders that we do each year.
Best combination play of the night so far for the Las Vegas Lights. Nothing comes of it. The touch wasn't there. Hunter Salt, really the first time he's had to respond, able to get there. All right, so we mentioned the new Carmel location, but whatever our favorite Ash and Elm flavor might be, what is the easiest way to pick up one of these wonderfully crafted, cold, and tasty beverages?
I love that question. We try to meet you wherever you are, so you can find us in most grocery stores, most liquor stores. A lot of independently owned restaurants carry our cider on tap or in carry out. And then, of course, there's always our two locations, one downtown and one in Carmel, where you can get the biggest selection of flavors. And we also go to a bunch of farmers markets every Saturday in the summer. So wherever you are, you shouldn't be too far from someone who wants to sell you Ash and Elm.
All right, website and or social for more information.
At Ash and Elm Cider.
Awesome. Andrea, it's good to see you.
Good to see you, too.
Thanks for joining us again tonight.
Us.
Again, they're sponsoring Pride Night for the Indy 11. And again, the Boys and Blueberry, always the preferred drink here for me for Ash and Elm. Andrea, thank you.
Thank you.
Go to the 25th minute we go. And Brad, because this is a sponsor, the great news is we get to drink cider now for the rest of the broadcast. This is great.
I love this.
It is perks of the job, right?
Yeah, we should have a featured brew every time. I don't know what we're doing.
We do have multiple kind of alcoholic partners on the broadcast. Well, thanks to Andrea for joining us. Thanks to you for joining us on Wish TV, CBS Sports Galazzo Network, alongside Indy 11 legend Brad Ring, Greg Rakestraw. We're on Wish TV tonight. You can watch Wish TV, your local news source. Find them online at wishtv.com. Wish TV is united at 10 on both Wish TV and My Indy TV as well. Obviously, the Indiana Pacers in game number 7, a big part of the topic of conversation. Andrew Chernoff is out in Oklahoma City. Getting ready for the first finals game 7 in Pacers NBA franchise history. Nigro Rendon does just enough, and then Rendon felt the jersey tug, and as advised earlier, dropped like a sack of potatoes, drew the whistle. Indy 11 thwarts the opportunity for Las Vegas.
Smart play. Yeah, and getting back to the Pacers' run this year, it's been fun. It's been impressive. The style of play that they're playing is entertaining, kind of run and gun. It's been a fun one to watch. So best of luck to them tomorrow.
That Boys and Blueberry is very refreshing.
It is really good.
Yeah,
really good.
Better chances last couple of minutes now for Las Vegas Lights. We'll see the impact the heat of this match is going to have. We have not had this confirmed, but again, given the starting temperature of the match, you would assume there is a hydration break that's coming up in about 4 minutes or so.
You would think so, yeah.
As a player on nights like this, Brad, how did you cope?
It's not easy. It really isn't. You would much rather play in freezing temperatures than in the 90s. But it's something that you've certainly done a number of times in your youth, in college, early in your career. So it's not the first time. So these guys know how to play through it. They know how to kind of take their professional break, so to speak, on goal kicks and maybe corner kicks, throw-ins, and things like that.
Murphy could not steer that ball the way he had envisioned. Vegas 4 wins on the season. This is just their 5th road match of the year. They have played 9 times already at Cashman Field in championship play. For the Indy 11, they've had a couple of weekends off, one of those unintentional. That should be a flag going up here momentarily, I would think. No, flag is staying down. Means it's an opportunity for the Las Vegas Lights.
Yeah, but the high line, you know, when it works, it looks great. When it doesn't work, it looks really, really bad. I think maybe McRobb was holding them on there on that one. Kind of hard to tell from our angle. But the tides have certainly been turning a little bit in Las Vegas' favor here the last 5 minutes or so after the opening 22 minutes really dominated by Indy.
Valentin Noel was the player that had timed that run perfectly, according to one of our assistant referees. So a corner coming here for the Las Vegas Lights.
I'm certainly not predicting this, but a lot of times when you have kind of dominating the first run of play and you don't capitalize, sometimes it comes back to bite you.
Another corner coming here. One of 8 matches for the Indy 11 against teams from the Western Conference this year. Nigro sends it in. A nervy moment when they're to pounce for the Indy 11. And Rendon fouled again. We start coming for the Indy 11. Fans, the Summer of Soccer presented by Indy Roof and Restoration runs through July 12th. Follow Indy 11 on social media. Learn more about how you can take part in the Summer of Soccer promotion. Have a chance to win an all-expense-paid trip to Charleston, South Carolina to see the boys in blue in action on Saturday, September the 6th. Back-to-back 1-0 wins for the Indy 11. At the start of the season, we would say both these things were true. As Amo going to be called for the foul for stepping on the Las Vegas defender.
Yeah, you got him there.
I think we were surprised at the amount of goals that the Indy 11 were scoring, and we were very surprised at the number of goals that the Indy 11 were allowing, especially in matches here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I remember 4-4, 3-3. There was a couple of really high-scoring games, which, don't get me wrong, it's entertaining for the fans. But you would much rather, as a supporter, you know, have your team picking up 3 points in a 1-0 game or a 2-1 game than, you know, 8 goals and coming back with a loss.
A couple of players in Nigro and Peters trying to sneak a little extra hydration breaking, and we'll get an official one coming up in a minute or so. First time we've had a game that has gone like that this year for the Indy 11. This is their 12th of 30 matches in terms of the championship. Long distance ball. Hogan backpedaling, and Hunter Salt, being 6'7", came in quite handy on that ball.
Yeah. Look, it's kind of a, you know, a no-nothing ball over the top. One of the reasons they might be playing that ball is because our back line, Indy's back line, is looking directly into the sun. Really hard to backpedal and judge a ball, let alone if the sun's shining in your face.
Listed Indy as a 3-5-2. That looked an awful lot like a 5-4-1 in terms of its defensive shape. Blake sizing up his options. Heard Cam Lindley chirping at him and delivered it to him precisely on point.
Yeah, I like the fluidity of Indy's lineup here with the center mids. One can go forward, the other can cover, one can shift right, the other shift left, one comes central, one go high, one go low. There's a lot of movement.
We've officially hit the hydration break moment as Elias Gartig sends that ball towards the opposing sideline. So both teams will head to their respective sidelines. gives you a chance to think about your Central Indiana Ford dealers. They're a proud sponsor of Indy 11 Soccer. Visit your local Ford dealer today for great deals on your favorite Ford vehicle. Well, Brad said it very well a few moments ago. First 20 minutes were all about the Indy 11. Las Vegas has kind of leveled kind of the feel of this match over the course of the last 10. But simply put, this match looks a lot like the last two matches for the Indy 11. And I think that's probably, again, the way that we thought to start the year, this is going to be kind of more of a grinded out type of team. And that's what we're seeing here tonight.
Yeah, excited for the last 15 minutes of the first half here. It's been, although not goals, it's been an entertaining game so far.
Benefemu, again, we highlighted him earlier tonight. He is on the USL Championship Team of the Week, and he is delivering yet again, Brad, defensively.
Yeah, really good player. There's my favorite play of the first 30 minutes. His track back here, getting body positioning. Not even going down, trying to take a professional foul and things like that. Just getting in the right space after the hustle back.
Benefemu is a guy that is kind of the perfect blend that this league has turned into. Again, we first saw him playing for the Bethlehem Steel. You played against him back in 2018. He was a teenager at that time. This is his 8th year in the league, Brad. He has yet to turn 25 years of age.
Yeah, it's impressive. He's going to have a really long, successful career. Knock on wood. He's a heck of a player, and you've seen it. You saw it last week with the accolades on the Team of the Week. You've seen it in the first 30 minutes on multiple occasions, being in the right spot.
The other thing that catches your attention about Ben is simply the combination of speed and size you just saw. He's one of the biggest dudes you'll see on the pitch, yet he was not lacking in the speed department to track back and get in front of that ball.
Yeah, and I think you mentioned it before, but the intelligence as well. He's making smart plays. You don't just luck out and you're in good position, right? These are very smart plays. As things are shifting, he's reading the game well. He's looking at where Hogan's at. He's looking at where Rendon's at. Who needs help? Who needs cover? He's a great player.
Indy admonished for trying to gain a few extra yards on the restart there. McRobb will start from just past the midfield stripe. Benefemu went over 10,000 minutes in his USL Championship career. In the game against Sacramento back in May. Foul called against the Indy 11.
One thing I don't envy about forwards, and Amo has had a number of balls into him at his chest with big defenders draped over his back, and then a second defender coming running right at him. And it's really hard to keep possession in those moments. That is something that Indy has done a lot of, is try to target him and play off him. So his ability to hold the ball up a little bit is pretty important for them to continue to keep possession.
Tonight's match is brought to us by Hyatt Place and Hyatt House. Experience comfort in downtown Indy. Hyatt Place and Hyatt House, downtown Indianapolis. Flag goes up against Las Vegas. It was a 0-0 snoozer. And these two teams played here 2 years ago, and at that point in time, the roster's completely different, frankly. Two different head coaches in that match. And if it's fair that we say, hey, Vegas parked the bus back then, need to bring up the times the Indy 11 have done that.
Yeah.
So at Detroit City about 3 years ago on Labor Day weekend, it was Indy's third match in 7 days. Like, we're good with a 0-0 draw. We'll just kind of park it right here and be fine. So It has happened in both directions. I think of Brad's season opener against the Tampa Bay Rowdies in 2016, 0-0. Under the late Tim Hankinson, there were a few matches like that early in the season.
Yeah, he was a big fan of the mid block, right? We would kind of start our press at the top of the circle, and he wanted our defenders all the way up to the bottom of the circle. The whole team compressed in about 25 yards or so.
Especially in a short yard like Al Lang Stadium, that was very effective. Foul called against the Indy 11. And Cam Lindley getting a bit of a stern talking to from J.C. Griggs.
Yeah, and I'd say Vegas is, kind of mentioning parking the bus, so to speak. They're not playing too deep, but you are kind of seeing their approach so far, at least, on the attack. And that's a more direct style and kind of trying to play off those second balls, with the exception of Nigro on the left side, who's probably one of their more creative players to kind of make things happen through possession.
Valentin Noel was the player that was fouled. Speaking of Nigro, there he is, and there the ball goes away from him, and that's going to be a foul. And I think the foul, Rendon was asking for a foul. It's going to be, though, Murphy, the player that was fouled. Peters is trying to play peacemaker, and Murphy wants none of it.
They had him in a pseudo headlock there for a moment, it looked like.
11 Soccer is brought to us by Johnson Controls. Johnson Controls, the power behind your mission. These two are getting after like their old rivals. They're really not, being in different conferences. Noel still a bit unhappy with Murphy.
Yeah, I'm not sure what Noel's unhappy about. He definitely got him.
Noel had a goal against the Indy 11 as part of that win at Cashman Field late night last August.
Musa's had a pretty quiet first 35, huh, Ray? We haven't said his name all that much, which is usually a good thing if you're a defender.
Musa, the player for the Indy 11 that has played in every minute of every match so far this year. 33-year-old from New Zealand, over 1,000 minutes now on the season. When Murphy was subbed out last week, it became a party of one in the Ironman race, including the goalkeepers as well for the Indy 11. It's just Musa that has done that so far. James up to 214 league appearances now. 201 of those being starts. Indy really has not had a chance to press very much. Look what happens here. They crank it up and earn the giveaway. And Amo the target. Gartig. A professional nudge to get Amo out of the way. Shoulder to shoulder, a perfectly legal play as that was.
Yeah. Indy opted to kind of go back there off the throw-in. Initially, I thought maybe there was an opportunity to play fast, kind of stay in the attacking third there. They had some numbers forward. Ultimately ended up passing back, ball over the top, which leading to the goal kick here. But when possible, although possession's good, right? When possible, it's nice to play forward, put the pressure on the opposing team.
Just a reminder, fans, join us every Saturday morning for Soccer Saturday on 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan. This week, Sean McCauley, Gabe Zapponi. Blake pestering Noel. Amo sneaky good at these pressure situations. He generated some turnovers in spots like these. McRobb and Hogan end up clattering into each other. That was not how that was designed. But McRobb able to kind of save a little face and space. And now, opportunity for Amo, but he's in an offside position.
Yeah, back-to-back sloppy plays by each team, really. Needs to be much better communication between Hogan and McRobb on that ball.
Assistant referee having a very civil conversation with Sean McCauley, and Sean kind of nods his head, says, okay, fair enough.
Well, Amo knew he was offside, so he didn't really challenge that first one, but then when defender misplayed it.
Correct.
He pounced on it, and sure enough, I think the right call was ultimately made. But
Sean, once he heard the explanation, kind of nodded his head and said, okay, I'm with you. As we know, Sean, he is a very civil and reasonable man. You may know otherwise from training in Portland, but
no, yeah, I think that's accurate. I think that's accurate.
Second-year head coach of the Indy 11. Came from Minnesota United, was their interim head coach at the end of the 2023 season. We'll talk with him coming up at halftime and post-match, and a foul whistled against Finn McRobb, who as well came from Minnesota United's next pro squad a season ago, the native of Scotland. Our final 5 minutes of half number one brought to us by your Central Indiana Ford dealers, proud sponsor of Indy 11 Soccer. Visit your local Ford dealer today for great deals on your favorite Ford vehicle. Well, the flow that the Indy 11 had the first 20 minutes has certainly ebbed.
Yep, yeah. You know, I think, not to say it's his fault, but right, Quinn was getting on the ball a lot that first 20. He hasn't gotten on it as much in the last 20. As kind of saying, right, when he's on the ball dictating play, Indy 11 is typically at their best.
Set piece opportunity here for the visitors. Quinn didn't get the touch he wanted to, and that will lead to a corner. tune coming up at halftime. We'll have scores from elsewhere across the league. Our news and notes segment across the championship. Talk about Romario Williams and the Gold Cup as well. That all comes up at halftime. Bending ball in, Salt. Murphy with a little assist. Salt couldn't pick it cleanly. And it will be a corner coming again for Las Vegas.
It's an IVW corner kick for the Las Vegas Lions.
Salt last week did not have an official save. Pittsburgh did not have a shot on goal in last week's match.
Rare feat.
Salt again, the punch. Quick settle by Noel. He'll reload. Amo got there first. Amo gets there again. And Murphy. And Lindley just elects to play a real estate ball, to send that one towards your own bench. Let everybody reset. Anything overly concerning right now if you're Sean McCauley from the Indy 11 perspective?
It always worries me. I said it maybe 20 minutes ago, and that's when you kind of start out of the gates, and you're creating chances, you're making things happen, everything's positive, upbeat, and you're on the front foot and all of those things, but you're not rewarded with a goal. A lot of times that can come back to get you. I've seen it happen so many times. So that would be the thing that would worry me, is Indy maybe feels like the first half's gone pretty good, right? But then, who knows? Las Vegas gets a corner kick, and they get on the end of one, and all of a sudden they're down 1-0.
It was a late first half goal last week for the Indy 11. They're going to try to reprise that again. And Rendon looking to work in space. Well defended by Nigro.
I would have loved to see Rendon go speed move down the right side. He's had a lot of success early in the first half doing that. He's probably a little tired at this moment, waiting for halftime.
Las Vegas right now not having a problem, kind of trying to take the air out of this a little bit. Jones. Bouncing ball for Rodriguez again, trying to launch on the counter. Pinzon stays onside. Pinzon's left foot doesn't get through. They'll ask for a handball, won't get it.
Put your arms down and step back to the area.
It'll be a throw in. We'll talk with Gabe's opponent on Thursday. He said the counter is maybe where they're at their best. Getting a chance now to get 9 behind the ball here. By the way, 2 additional minutes of stoppage time, which is exactly what we had for the hydration break. Pressure by Amo doesn't land. Noel, you're on the same page as Pinzon. McGowan Insurance Group and Auto Owners Insurance have teamed up to make tailored insurance policies for your family. Thanks to our friends at the McGowan Insurance Group. Amo trying to hold up play and felt he was getting held up in the process.
Those are the balls into Amo, right, that I mentioned previously. And there's a hard balls to hold up for sure. But you can see what happens when the ball plays in and then it's lost, right? Now Indy's dropping 20, 25 yards back. They're back defending. Vegas is on the ball. They're going towards the goal. He's got to do a little bit better job trying to keep possession on those balls.
There's a handball. So that one whistled against Las Vegas. That was Leal that was the guilty party. See, Pinzon just turned up the wick a little bit, and all of a sudden everybody kind of perked up there for Las Vegas.
Yeah, he's been better here the last 5-10 minutes for sure.
Indy 11 Soccer is sponsored by Dormakaba. Dormakaba for every place that matters. To be frank, it's had a little bit of a ho-hum to it over these last few minutes. But I think we're going to see more of that from the Indy 11. I think that is kind of the style that leads to better results as this group is constituted. Musa lets that one trickle across the touchline.
A minute left. We'll see if there's another chance. for either team.
Throw-in coming here for Las Vegas, and Indy has lost the crispness they had early in the contest. Noel. Again, here's a potential moment. Slid forward for Pinzon. Noel joins the attack. He's got the overlapping run. Trying to set up the cross. Takes a nudge. McRobb lifts out of the 18 again. We'll keep track of the seconds. Still about 15 or so. In other words, Vegas has to go quickly here. We'll glance the referee and his wristwatch as well. Rendon likely sends us to halftime with no goals apiece. Not done just yet. We'll glance at that watch as of now. There's a quick look. And that's that. Once that ball got played to a neutral position, that was the end of the half. So nothing gained, nothing lost for either of these two teams. It is 0-0 through 45 minutes, as he is often wont to do. Sean McCauley makes a beeline for our broadcast position and is kind enough to join us to give us his immediate thoughts heading into half number 2. Sean joins us now. I got the microphone set up for him. Coach, first of all, it's good to see you. Welcome back. Just your thoughts, what you saw from your team in the first 45 minutes.
I think we've controlled large parts of the game, really. They've sort of been a little bit dangerous on counter-attacks. We've got to manage the set plays that they've got because they put the ball into the box with really good quality. But I'm quite happy with the start, you know, and obviously we created a couple of chances. We just need in the second half to keep creating the chances, but not forcing the play too much because obviously the conditions are not allowing you to give the ball away easy.
Is there something you change tactically, or is it simply keep doing what you're doing and try to do it just a little bit better?
I think for the first 10 minutes, I'm going to switch Jack Blake and Quinney so they can be on the wrong side of the foot, so a left-footed player on the right and right-footed player on the left, to try and get them in field a little bit more and to keep more of the possession, because at the minute, they're just caught in being blocked off. They're blocking passing lanes quite well, so I'm going to give them a little bit more responsibility to get in between the lines.
Thanks, my friend. We'll talk to you after the match.
Thank you.
Sean McCauley, head coach of the Indy 11, kind enough to join us. We'll look for the flip of sides for Blake and Quinn and to the impact it has in half number 2. No goals for either side of this East meets West matchup. Indy 11 hoping for a third consecutive win. Right now they're in line for a single point. 0-0 in Indianapolis as you're watching on Wish TV and the CBS Sports Galazo Network.
I'm a happy-go-lucky guy, but sometimes I get a little stressed because I'm not for sure what's going to happen down the road. I was at the cancer unit, and when I come out from seeing the doctor, I said something about needing some help with all the paperwork. They gave me a name and a phone number. Her name is Molly. She works over at Community. She tells me, stop worrying, let me take care of it. She is my angel.
Stand by me.
Every place has a purpose, and the people who inhabit those places have their own reasons for being there. The last thing on their minds should be concerns about the safety of the places they are in. When it comes to security and safety for all the places that matter, Dormakaba offers a seamless flow of integrated solutions that allow people to move securely about their daily lives. Because the places that matter to you matter to us.
Tonight's match is presented by Community Health Sports Medicine, exceptional care simply delivered, and by your Central Indiana Ford dealers, a proud sponsor of Indy 11 Soccer. Visit your local Ford dealer today for great deals on your favorite Ford vehicle. Welcome back at halftime here at the Mike Las Vegas Lights and the Indy 11 on Wish TV and the CBS Sports Golazo Network. Now, one player you'll not see for the Indy 11 tonight is Romario Williams. He has been absent for the entire month of June for the best of reasons. He is representing Jamaica in the Gold Cup. In fact, also represented Jamaica in a couple of World Cup qualifiers that led into the Gold Cup. There is a chance we could see him back here as of next Saturday. But for the Reggae Boys' sake, we hope we don't, because if Jamaica wins their next match against Panama, then they would move on to the quarterfinals of the Gold Cup. Of course, the last time Romario played for the Indy 11, he had a brace in that 4-4 draw against Hartford Athletic. Best of luck, Romario. And, of course, numerous USL Championship teams have players in the Gold Cup. For example, Edison Azcona, not here tonight for Las Vegas. He is playing for the Dominican Republic. They know they have one more match. He'll be back with Las Vegas next weekend when Jägermeister Cup play resumes. Our halftime show resumes after this break. Las Vegas and the Indy 11. You're watching on Wish TV and the CBS Sports Golazo Network.
The summer of soccer is here with the Indy 11. Got the chance to win a getaway to Charleston, South Carolina. When you grab our Summer of Soccer ticket deal, you get 10 entries into the Summer of Soccer Getaway Sweepstakes for a chance at a trip or two with flights, hotels, and meals covered. All this while you get to have a blast with the boys in blue all summer. Get your tickets now at Indy11.com.
Wait, come back! Wait, come back, I need more help. Take a load off it. Take a load for free.
Today we went to the beach, and it was totally worth it.
Stay 3 nights this summer at Best Western and get $50 off a future stay.
How does Crystal Geyser Alpine Spring Water keep you in the game? We always source our water directly from the natural spring to fuel every body, no matter how you like to move it. So whether you're chasing your goals or just staying active this summer, make sure to stay hydrated with Crystal Geyser Alpine Spring Water. Always bottled at the natural spring source.
Today, we accomplished nothing. I mean it, not a thing. And it was kind of everything.
Stay 3 nights this summer at Best Western and get $50 off a future stay.
Here it comes again. It's scored. The Legion double their lead. Torres swinging in. Charleston gets one right back.
This week on USL All Access, the table tells us which team on the field has been the best due to points, right? What about coaches? We take a statistical deep dive to see which manager has influenced their team in the games the most within 90 minutes of play. Joe Hafferty, defender from Lexington SC, joins us to talk his unique journey developmentally and how Lexington could be on the rise in the Western Conference.
Atletico Dallas will join the USL Championship in 2027. They are picking, of course, an historic venue, the Cotton Bowl, that is the home of the Texas-Oklahoma football game every year. The Dallas Burn played there back in the day, the days of Major League Soccer. Great to see that venue being used. Great to see that market a part of the USL Championship going forward. Brad, how about this? Aston Villa and Eintracht Frankfurt are going to Lynn Family Stadium coming up next month.
It's always good to get quality games like that here in the Midwest, and great stadium down there in Louisville to host that.
And speaking of Blue City, They were beaten last night for the first time all year, snapping a 19-game unbeaten streak. As Dean Linke would say, our mutual friend, how about North Carolina FC picking up the 2-1 win on Friday night?
It was bound to happen sooner or later, right? And North Carolina typically is a hard place to go and get wins. So not surprised. Good for NCFC. And we'll see if NCFC can kind of get a spark going forward. 5
games were played on Wednesday and Friday. 1 already completed today. That was Detroit City beating Miami 2-0. Here are the other games that are taking place later tonight or midweek matches. And obviously, the Indy 11 have a midweek match. They go to Al Lang Stadium, taking on the Tampa Bay Rowdies, and that is one of the 2 national television appearances for the Indy 11 this season. See that one on ESPN2. Later tonight, New Mexico United and San Antonio. You can catch Monterrey and El Paso, the same streaming location you're watching this match on the CBS Sports Golazo Network. And even though both Loudon and Louisville lost, as did Charleston midweek, again, that's a big match coming up on Wednesday night. You can catch on ESPN+. Again, our upcoming schedule brought to us by Best Western. We'll take this quick time out. When we come back, highlights and stats from half number 1. We count you down to half number 2. Las Vegas Lights in the Indy 11. It continues next on Wish TV and the CBS Sports Golazo Network.
The main part of my job is definitely listening. People deserve transparency. I don't want the financial part to be something that stops or hinders a patient from having the health care that they need. I try to treat each person like they're my mom or my grandmother, my daughter, my husband. I want them to know that they're not just another phone call for us. And it's very rewarding to know that I can provide peace of mind.
Stand by me.
This is Paul. He loves running, music, and DIY home projects. In fact, he's remodeling his kitchen thanks to a home equity line of credit from Indiana Members Credit Union. They connected him with a loan officer, got him approved at a great low rate, and made it easy for him to make his monthly payment from anywhere thanks to IMCU's digital banking. Looks like Paul can do it all with a little help from IMCU.
Success doesn't come easy. It takes grit, hustle, and relentless effort. Every step forward brings you closer to greatness. This is your moment. Elevate your game. El Jimador Spiked Bebidas.
Our team at Security Federal Savings Bank welcomes you to our newest location, our West Carmel branch on Michigan Road, here to serve you. All the services you expect from a premier bank, personal and business banking, wealth management, trust services, and much more. The Security Federal Savings Bank branch team offers the expertise and knowledge you want and expect. Security Federal Savings Bank, proud of our team and our newest West Carmel location.
The USL on CBS is presented by Best Western Hotels and Resorts, the official hotel partner of the United Soccer League. Look at the state capitol and now the campus of IU Indianapolis. Michael A. Carroll Track and Soccer Stadium, affectionately known as the Mike by all fans of the Indy 11. Scoreless in half number 1. Greg Rakestraw, Brad Ring with you. Let's get to our first half highlights. Do not mistake a lack of achievement for a lack of activity. It's been fun to watch, and for the Indy 11 especially early, Brad, some missed opportunities.
Yeah, they were really dangerous the first 20 minutes before the game kind of leveled out. You're seeing some of the chances here. Great ball in by Quinn. Certainly a handball. Was he out of bounds? I'm not quite sure. This is another ball from Rendon over the top. Amo does a great job fighting to get on the end of it. Ultimately, a little stuck. Do I shoot it? Do I pass it? He ended up going for the pass, and the defender cuts it out well.
To be frank, a couple of those opportunities from the 11 were because of some Las Vegas mistakes. Once they've cleaned that up, those looks for the Indy 11 have kind of dried up in the first half.
Yeah, they really have. And some of Indy's playmakers, such as Blake and Quinn, didn't get on the ball as much the final 15 to 20 minutes. So we'll look for them to get more on the ball and kind of dictate the play here to kick off the second half.
Let's react to what we heard from Coach McCauley. He's going to flip Blake and Quinn sides of the field. your thought on the move?
I love it. I really do. I really like it. When you have a lefty on the left side, a righty on the right side, then it tends to go towards the sidelines, right? But if you invert that, then the play tends to go towards the middle of the field. That can help with possession.
1 shot on goal, 3 shot attempts, and possession dead even. It's about as even and played in the midfield as those numbers would look like in half number 1.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. Really kind of dead across, except for maybe corners. Obviously 5-1 in favor of Vegas, but pretty even first half.
An only meeting of the season between these two teams. Indy on the road at Tampa Bay, one of their few road matches. They literally have 2 road matches in June and July. So the Wednesday midweeker at Al Lang is one of them. Back here for Jägermeister Cup play against the Birmingham Legion.
One advantage of looking into the sun in the first half is now the sun is a little bit lower. It's going to be really difficult. I'm not exactly sure how long, maybe 10, 15, 20 minutes or so, where Las Vegas defenders are going to be looking right into it.
And obviously this is solstice weekend, so that is going to be as late in the match as we will have all season long. We're ready to go. We hope you are too. Thanks for joining us on Wish TV and the CBS Sports Galazo Network.
Indy's done a really good job staying together with their back line. That's been, I'm not quite sure, 4th, 5th, maybe offsides so far.
Of course, this match is brought to us by Dormicaba for every place that matters. Quinn. The first pivot goes inside. Blake was the target. Vegas got a boot to it first.
So instead of Quinn receiving the ball on the left, which will typically lead to either a ball down the flank or a cross, right now it's him taking his touch inside, which is creating some more dangerous opportunities, or at least that's the hope for Coach Sean McCauley in Indy 11.
Sean Smart that was able to track it down close to the byline. Quinn just a step in front of Blake. He certainly has the earmarks of one goal in either direction. May do it tonight. Given the offensive struggles of Las Vegas is not surprising. Given the last 2 matches for the Indy 11 is not surprising.
Well, one last thought, Rake, on kind of switching Blake and Quinn. You still have Rendon flying down the right side, McRobb down the left side. You still have that kind of winger ability with them inverting in. And as a player trying to defend that, it is really hard when your player tucks inside. Now is the outside back for Las Vegas. Do I go inside or do I hang back out here and wait for Rendon and McRobb to fly at me?
There's Yunus Boudadi, who was fouled. And again, we barely mentioned Yunus in the first half. So hope that Boudadi is okay as he took a tumble. He finished last year with Hartford, his second stint with the Athletic. Now with Las Vegas for the first time. Yunus now in his 7th season in the USL Championship. Began his days in the league with Reno. 2 years with Hartford, 1.5 years with the Indy 11. Back to Hartford last year and now in Vegas for the first time. Peters will restart. And Indy very compact. 10 behind the ball and all in front of the 18. How do you break this down, Brad, if you're Vegas?
Yeah, it's tough. I think directly, right? It's those balls over the top that Indy's been a little bit shaky on. No, it hasn't really led to much, but those are the moments that they've had a little bit more success.
Hogan steps up, didn't get there, which opens up the back line. Opportunity here. Pinzon stopped by Hunter Salt. Hogan trying to be aggressive and just mistimed it. But Salt with the back line stop.
Yeah, poorly judged ball by Hogan, to be honest. And then, right up the gut as Hogan kind of vacates that area. Then does a great job tracking back. Once again, kind of put some pressure on that shot, make it harder for the attacker.
Throw in coming here for the Indy 11. Indy 11 Soccer is sponsored by Johnson Controls. Johnson Controls, the power behind your mission. We are not to the point of the match yet. We start talking about, which team would like a point. Frankly, the point is a much better result for Vegas than it would be for the Indy 11. Quinn and steers it in the right direction. Darling will simply play it sideways. Throw in for Indy.
bringing Musa up for the long throw.
You're looking for a first win against the Las Vegas Lights. 0-0 draw in 23, 3-2 loss last year. Vegas made the Western Conference Finals last year. They had a really rough stretch that led to a coaching change before last week's 2-0 victory against Monterey Bay. Rosarena goes up and snags it. Frankly, Wright goes had to do much either in tonight's match, and did a good job of snagging that one.
Yeah, not a huge goalie in Rosarena, but did a great job judging that, coming off the line, grabbing it with 2 hands.
11 goals allowed, 23 saves. Second year with Vegas. Had a loan spell to forward Madison to get some matches about 3 years ago while with the Rowdies. 28 years of age from Cuba. Indy picking and choosing when to press. They're picking it up here. Rendon, Murphy. Indy is going to be wary of this Vegas counter. The shape of Indy has held here. Leal. 5 along the back line for the Indy 11 currently. Bending ball in and against Salt. All 6'7" in use there.
Yeah, he is really good with balls in the air. No surprise.
And frankly, this is the Hunter Salt that we saw a season ago. Had 9 clean sheets last year. Did not have one in league play until his last 2 matches. He has now not given up a goal in 225 minutes plus. Advantage. Now you go back for the foul. And that was a foul on Murphy. See if he's going to get the talking to, last warning.
Yeah, that might be his last one there. I think that might be a return from the first half.
Indy 11 Soccer is brought to us by Morales Group Staffing, offering flexibility in both staffing and operational efficiencies while driving results to your bottom line, increasing productivity and reducing labor costs. Vegas does get to this ball. Here's the chance. McRobb does just enough. Not out of danger just yet. And now an errant ball in. And Indy dodges Vegas's best scoring chance of the night. McRobb had to time that perfectly, and he got there just in the nick of time.
Yeah, great recovery run by McRobb. Kind of throws his body on the line there at the end to make sure 20 doesn't get on the end of it.
And again, I think the referee got it right. And we're obviously kind of more of an Indianapolis broadcast, but if that's shoulder to back, that's a point to the spot. Shoulder to shoulder, play on. That's exactly what it was.
Yeah.
Of course, this match is brought to us by Community Health Sports Medicine, the official sports medicine provider of the Indy 11. Exceptional care simply delivered. There's been a minimal amount of possession for the Indy 11 so far in this half. McRobb bending ball in. Amo at least got something to it.
Dangerous ball in from McRobb. I think Amo's getting, just getting held a little bit. Not that it's a foul, but just kind of battling in the box there. Love to see if you can get a head on it as opposed to swinging the leg, but it's much easier said than done when you got a big center back draped over you. Another offside.
And that'll be a foul on McRobb. Yep. A little frustration release that time from Finn as well.
Rendon making things happen again there on that right side. If he's getting the ball with space, I would just attack their left back nonstop. He's having a ton of success. Great, hard, low, driven cross over to Amo. Tries to redirect it, didn't get all of it. like Indy staying high here, though, right? Last time they did this, Indy won it right on top of the attacking third. Let's make it hard for Vegas to play out.
Win the closeout, throw in coming here for Las Vegas. And he does have a handful of players loosening up. Collier, Foster, Chiza amongst those we would likely see first. Vegas, all their subs are spectators at this point. Nobody getting ready.
With a midweek game coming up, Rake, I wouldn't be surprised if the subs were slightly earlier.
Good pressure by Amo. Forces the turnover. Lindley digs in. And that will be a throw in for Indy. Great job by Amo. Giovanni Troise, the interim head coach, asking, hey, was that a foul there? And both the assistant referee and referee say no. Rosarena is down, by the way, at the edge of the 6. He's going to buy a little extra time. He was pressured. That contact did kind of come outside of the 18. Both teams will, again, try to treat this as almost an unofficial hydration break here. Rosarena saying, hey, I was fouled.
Yeah, he went down. It didn't look like a foul. I think the ref got that one right, but nonetheless, still could have hurt.
Take a second look. Yeah, it's the follow through.
Yeah. Cam Lindley does a good job jumping on that ball and earning possession for Indy.
Rosarena will carry on. Restart coming for the Indy 11 here. Temperatures have cooled just a bit. Only feels like 98 in Indianapolis currently. Blake, the one touch for McRobb, but couldn't get there in time. And McRobb went from a guy that was barely making the 18 to when Stanley got hurt, he has been the guy at the left back position.
I think he's been pretty good. Big body, good left foot, hustles, works hard, good in the air, does a lot of things well. He brings something into the attack down the left flank as well.
Ball just kept in play by the Lights and then worked around Rendon. Here's the opportunity for Las Vegas. 4v4 at the back. Quickly Indy hustling back to get behind the ball. Rendon then tries to win it back from Noel and does so successfully. Amo with some space to operate. Trying to hold things up for some teammates. Can he cut it across? Yes. Quinn, one touch, second touch. Rosarena there waiting on him. Normally when Quinn has that angle in that space, it's 1-0.
I was expecting to see the net get hit by the ball on that one. It was a great ball. Cam Lindley gets it on his left foot out to Amo. Amo does a great job getting his head up. Can't really beat the guy one-on-one. Finds Quinn at the top. And good first prep touch, but just kind of right at Rosarena.
Just remind your fans you can show your Indy 11 pride. Get your exclusive IMCU Indy 11 debit card at any IMCU branch or online at imcu.com today.
Aiden Quinn is going to wish he had that one back, but I guarantee he's telling himself right now, if I get another one, I'm going to bury it.
McRobb wins the foot race, plays it to Salt, who handles it exceedingly well. This match, as obvious by the score, has been about as evenly played as it possibly could be.
This is another time where Moose's long throw comes in handy. Obviously, it's nice in the attacking third trying to get in the box, but it's also nice when the ball is all the way back in your corner.
Quinn didn't settle that one the way he had hoped. Hogan steps in the way. Las Vegas came into this match with 2 more matches played and 1 additional point on the season. Even though in different conferences, both teams in very similar spots in terms of the playoff battle. As we approach the halfway marker of the championship regular season, Hogan knew he was beat. We play on from distance. Ball didn't get through. A second look here maybe. Left-footed bending shot up and over the bar. That's as good of a look as Vegas has had the entire night, and Salt didn't have to lift a finger.
I think Hogan's going to get a talking to here. Famu, right spot again. Hogan's made a couple steps. It's tough as a center back, right? You want to put a pressure on the forward who's kind of checking back into that space. But if you vacate your position, you really need to force them to go backwards or win the ball. Hogan's gotten into a little bit of trouble on 2 occasions where he stepped up, hasn't quite won it, and then they're getting in behind.
Blake, first touch got away from him. But in both teams are kind of content to play Strikers Island right now. So kind of put one guy up defensively in terms of pressure.
Yeah.
Possession to the back is not an issue for either side right now.
And sometimes when the game's playing out that way, you know, everyone wants to play a sexy possession style and, you know, kind of that Barcelona-esque way. But when there's 9 guys behind the ball, sometimes it's just a direct ball. It's a cross from the sideline that you get on the end of. It's a flicked ball. It's a blocked clearance. It's those little things that can really be the deciding factor in a game like this.
Musa steps into the attack. Left-footed ball does not get through. Budati gets in the way. Good touch by Musa to keep the attack alive, and he's trying to find Amo. A Famu. Towering header.
Yes. He made that look easy.
And on the USL Championship Team of the Week, and has been every bit as good this week as the native of Bloomfield Hills, Michigan. Quickly timed. Smart, the player that went down for Las Vegas.
See a replay on this. It certainly looked like Murphy. Yeah. He read it well. He read it really well. Got his foot in front of it. Ball hit the heel of Murphy.
Cross here that again is overhit. And this time it will be a goal kick for Hunter Salt. Well, frankly, Vegas has had the better of it in half number 2. But again, they still really haven't had that threatening moment that has come out of it yet. Smart's shot up and over the bar has been their best look. And 3 Indy 11 players are making their way back to the bench. So Messrs. Chizza, Collier, and Foster late whistle. But
it's better, though. That's better. Look, you got to hold that ball up, whether that's legitimately holding it up or earning a free kick. Either is fine, but you got to hold that up.
Here's Rendon. You're going to see some fresh legs up top momentarily for the Indy 11, and that, again, no doubt, great tackle.
Yeah.
Well played by Las Vegas. Thank our friends at Community Health Network. Community Health Network, exceptional care, simply delivered.
Go to shot. Let's go shot.
And Salt will make the play with, again, nobody in the area. There was not a Vegas player within 15 yards of that ball. So Collier, Chizza, Foster. You would think that Amo, Rendon, maybe Blake of that group, maybe Murphy of that group would come off.
Yeah, one of those combinations for sure. I'm excited for these 3 to come on, though. They're going to be obviously fresh, applying a lot of pressure to some heavy legs in warm conditions here in Indy.
That is quite the arsenal to have at your disposal off the bench. Rem Sumaro, Josh O'Brien now starting to loosen as well. Bremen midfielder, Josh a defender. Hayden White is the other field substitute available for the Indy 11 tonight. Blake. Quinn makes the run. Ball tries to find Quinn. Well read by Las Vegas. That was Gartig that got there. with Denmark in his second season with the Las Vegas Lights. Vegas about to make their first substitution of the match as well. Fans have seen plenty of draws here at home this year. They have not seen one of the 0-0 variety. And as opposed to Shea Gilgeous-Alexander in that shade of blue, that bump with the forearm is called.
What a reference, Ray.
Thank you. Pacers in 7. Of course, this match is brought to us by your Central Indiana Ford dealers, a proud sponsor of Indy 11 Soccer. Visit your local Ford dealer today for great deals on your favorite Ford vehicle. It is Pearson that will come on for Las Vegas. Hayden White has the gear on as well for the Indy. They're going to bring 4 players in simultaneously. I think that is officially a line change for the Indy 11. I think there's like a 2-for-1 special involved there. Musa tracks back and gets in the way of the run made by Vegas. Quinn. He and Peters get tangled up. Rob finds Lindley. Lindley has Amo to his right. Plays it behind him, but Blake is there. And eventually will track it down. Rendon. Amo, and unfortunately for Amo, I've been waiting to say this all year. Fitting against Vegas. Elvis has left the building. And while he is most associated, obviously, with the team in blue tonight, Elvis did play his last concert at Market Square Arena in Indianapolis. Sometimes you sit on things for a half a season before you get to use them.
That's called patience.
Substitutes aplenty coming in. Again, Pearson in for Peters for Las Vegas. All of our substitutions brought to us by Morales Group Staffing, offering flexibility in both staffing and operational efficiencies. Quinn, Amo, Blake. And let's see who else is coming out here. Is it McRobb? No, it's Rendon.
Rendon, yeah, I think it's Rendon.
So Indy just one more substitution available. So 4 fresh sets of legs on for the Indy 11. And Collier, Foster, and Chizza will all play up top.
Yeah, really all attacking players coming in fresh.
Elliot Collier continues to add to his club record in terms of substitute appearances. And make sure we double back to this as well. Cam Lindley playing tonight, getting his 92nd appearance with the team, as Chizza buzzing around this one. The 92nd appearance for Lindley ties him with Dylan Maris for 6th in club history in terms of appearances for the Indy 11. Chizza walking the byline, tries to cut it back. Collier makes the turn eventually. Hayden White now will settle. Collier scored against Las Vegas last year in the 3-2 loss. Murphy sends it in. Rosarena is there waiting on it.
It's always nice as a sub coming on. Elliott gets some quick touches. White gets some quick touches. I think it was Chizza maybe applying some pressure. Always nice when you come on to get a touch or two early to kind of get yourself into the game.
Chizza double-digit goals for Pittsburgh last year. Has kind of lost his starting spot to Amo here so far through this season, but does have a couple of goals on the year. Last scored against El Paso, the native of Uganda. Collier yet to find the back of the net this year. He was playing very well in preseason before an injury really kind of slowed his season. Elliott just rounding back into form.
Didn't look like much on that one with White going in trying to win it. Ref calls it Vegas ball.
The USL on CBS Sports Network continues July 2nd with the Birmingham Legion take on the Charleston Battery at 8 o'clock. Catch all the action on the CBS Sports Network Wednesday, July 2nd. I'll be tuned in at home on channel 1425 in my living room watching now. Good combination play here by Vegas. Foul behind the play, but we played on. It'll be a throw in regardless for Las Vegas, just outside of the 18-yard box.
I think Coach McCauley's trying to get the boys in red to kind of clear the lines a little bit quicker, get up. When the ball travels forward, can they gain 10, 15 yards of real estate? They're a little bit slow to step up out of the back. Here's another opportunity. Can they gain 10, 15 yards?
I don't think either player touched it. Nope, throw in for the Indy 11.
Hey, ref, stop it. Hey. Ref, stop it. Sean, front it. Front it, Sean, front it.
We'll have a hydration break in about 5 minutes. Sun in the process of setting, field largely covered in shade. Now that breeze has actually got a bit of refreshment to it. Plenty of space. Ofemu simply leaves it for Lindley. Lindley can deliver a laser.
Great ball.
Like that one to Foster. Foster playing the left side using his speed. Tries to cut it across, and while didn't find a teammate, finds Yunus Boudadi. While both played for the Indy 11, they were not teammates a year ago. They're not teammates tonight either. Corner kick coming for the Indy 11 in minute number 72.
Yeah, Indy's got dangerous wingers. The more they can find them in one-on-one scenarios with a little bit of real estate to attack just like that, good things happen. You saw it in the first half with Rondon. You saw it there with Foster. Earned the corner kick.
Murphy to send it in. Looking back post to Rosarena the punch. And Lindley by his lonesome by the IU Indy logo to track this one down. Several players heading to the bench for Vegas. They'll make their wave of substitutions in a matter of moments. Collier sends it in. Musa couldn't get to it. Just got nudged off the ball enough. How about that for a lift? 2v2 at the back. Hogan and Lindley. Ofemu tracking back. That ball into space. Lindley takes one look at Salt just to see where his keeper is in relation. McRobb comes up and pinballs that ball away. Again, these teams matching each other virtually step for step. Pearson got the second one right. Away with contact on McRobb that was not whistled.
I think it was a clean tackle, to be honest, but so was Murphy's 15 minutes ago, which Murphy got the call on him there. But
Pinzone trying to find a window, nothing there. Well, Josh O'Brien's going to be the fifth and final substitution for the Indy 11 tonight. He has made his way to the bench area. Hogan ahead to it, and Foster will track down for Indy. McRobb's ball goes right to Boudadi, and then Foster holds his ground.
Keep working.
And finally, a foul whistled against the Indy 11. Sports, this match is brought to us by the Denny Companies. The Denny Companies tearing down the past so you can build the future.
Boudadi got away with a clear foul on Foster. I'm surprised the AR on the side didn't help him out. I don't know if the ref had a bad angle or not. But then he goes down there in a pretty dangerous free kick here with Vegas.
Stojanovic, Howell amongst those entering for Las Vegas. And Zhao rounding out the trio of fresh players about to enter the next stoppage in play for the visitors. Nigro sends it in, and Salt snares it.
It was the exact play they scored off of last game against Monterey Bay. In swinger. Rodriguez got on the end of it. Obviously not that time, but dangerous moment.
Rob steps in.
Every day.
Last touch by the Indy 11. And time now for the substitutions. And our substitutions brought to us by the Morales Group. 3 of them coming in for Las Vegas. Morales Group staffing, offering flexibility in both staffing and operational efficiencies. Leal exits for Stojanovic. Jones exits for Howell. We'll see who Zhao is going to be coming in for. Sean Smart will be exiting in place of Zhao. Zhao, the likely best known of that trio of substitutions.
Sometimes substitutions are just for fresh bodies. Sometimes it really indicates what the coach wants to do. Is he content with the tie, or does he want to push for the win?
Chow has appeared in all 14 matches. Turns 33 later this year. Played in Germany before joining FC Cincinnati. They went to Major League Soccer in 2019. Second year for Joe with the Las Vegas Lights. O'Brien did not enter at that break for the Indy 11. Just has the gear on so he can be ready when called upon. Hayden White with the read. Could not get there in time.
The fear with using your subs at all of them by the 75th minute on a day like this especially is sometimes cramping can set in, right? You would hate to use your last sub here in the 75th, 76th minute, and then the guy go down cramping in the 80th, right? And you're in a tough spot the last 10, 15 minutes.
It's a very fair point. Hydration break. Second of two tonight for each of these two teams, with pregame temperatures in the the low 90s, I should say. The Summer of Soccer presented by Indy Roof and Restoration runs through July 12th. Follow Indy 11 on social media to learn more about how you can take part in the Summer of Soccer promotion and have a chance to win an all-expense-paid trip to Charleston, South Carolina. Thanks to our friends at Indy Roof and Restoration. Well, simply put, Brad, I'm not sure there's going to be a breakthrough moment for either team in the last 15, 20 minutes. If there is one, what might generate that in either direction?
I think it's going to be direct play from Las Vegas, maybe off a corner or something along those lines. Neither team is getting a ton of chances off the run of play. I expect it to come from a foul and a free kick or a corner or something along those lines. I don't think it's going to be a overly attractive goal if we do see one, but more of a gritty one.
And final from earlier today, Detroit City a 2-0 winner against Miami. In progress, Pittsburgh leading Tampa Bay 2-1. Sacramento leading at Rhode Island 2-0. The Battery lead Phoenix 2-1 at Patriots Point. In Birmingham and Oakland are scoreless. That match kicked at 8 o'clock, and there's two West Coaster late night matches. New Mexico and San Antonio and Albuquerque at 9. Monterey Bay and El Paso at 10 at Cardinal Stadium, where I guarantee you it feels about 40 degrees cooler there than it does here right now. Remember how nice it was to play at Kezar in June?
Yep.
Where you scored your last professional goal. And I was there as a fan, and you ignored me in the stands as you scored the goal.
Biggest regret in my career.
Not that I'm still upset about that 8 years later.
Biggest regret of my career.
If that's your biggest regret, you had a wonderful career, if that is the case.
Or bad memory, one or the other.
And you also have that friend that just keeps reminding you about it when he has the opportunity. That friend is me. Thanks for joining us on Wish TV and CBS Sports Galazzo Network. The 11 on ESPN2 on Wednesday night against Tampa Bay Rowdies. We're back for Jägermeister Cup play next Saturday. Opportunity in transition here. It's Chow, and it's Chow up and over the bar again. Vegas has generated far more opportunities in this second half, but they've yet to truly have that nervy moment on target from the Indy 11 perspective.
Yeah, I think Coach McCauley's seen enough. Looks like O'Brien's going to be coming in soon, but dangerous opportunity there for Las Vegas.
I would think O'Brien for McRobb would be the most likely. We'll see if that's how it plays out. Just because McRobb is still trying to kind of work himself into 90 minutes fit, as he was getting such spot minutes until Stanley got hurt. Now, again, that's now basically been 5 weeks at this point. O'Brien in his second year with the Indy 11. Salt bombs this one 65 yards down the park. And a throw in coming for the Indy 11. Afemu will track it down.
You know what I miss, Drake, is the old BYB cheer, Das Boot, from back 2014.
That would be for Christian Neat, who was the original goalkeeper of the Indy 11, 14 and 15. It is Patrick Hogan that will exit as O'Brien replaces him. So McRobb will go the full 90 minutes. Again, our substitutions brought to a spot. The Morales Group. Thanks to the Morales Group, offering flexibility in both staffing and operational efficiencies.
not that it's necessarily been their fault, but the trio that subbed on all at once for Indy, outside of the Foster kind of earned corner kick, hasn't been able to produce.
Chizza takes a tumble, but not enough in it. This is our referee.
Finishing that thought, they haven't created a ton of chances. I think that probably Coach McCauley was hoping for. Still 10 plus extra time left, so plenty of time here. But
that was Gartig that bumped into Chisholm. Las Vegas will bring their 5th and final substitution of the match to the bench. Zhao played out wide. Has 2 runners to choose from. Tries to beat McRobb off the dribble. Plays it across. Looking back post. Musa there waiting. McRobb stares it out, and Foster. Lindley. And on target just past Collier, but Indy does at least have the chance to reset defensively here. Knight Pickering will be the 5th and final sub for Las Vegas.
It's been going more that direction here in the second half. Indy's had a harder time kind of keeping the ball. I thought that Cam Lindley ball into Elliott was a good one. I think Elliott maybe misjudged it a little bit. Vegas gets on the ball, top of the 18. Musa kind of decides to lay back a little bit instead of step and apply some pressure. Open shot that puts over the crossbar and into the BYB.
Your Central Indiana Ford dealers are a proud sponsor of Indy 11 Soccer. Visit your local Ford dealer today for great deals on your favorite Ford vehicle. Pickering, just 20 years of age, about to come on. We have talked about him for the last 3 years. He's with now defunct Memphis 901. Had 9 goals in 64 matches playing in Memphis. Has 1 so far in 7 appearances for the Las Vegas Lights. O'Brien does just enough.
That ball has killed Indy 11 today.
But Musa steps in the passing lane perfectly.
The ball on the ground from Vegas's back line, kind of into advanced midfielders or a forward checking in. Most of them I'm expecting to get cut out, but Indy just can't seem to kind of jump in front of those lanes.
Chizza couldn't find the right angle to attack there for Indy. Pickering continuing to try to stay loose. Shouldn't be hard, A, when you're 20, and B, it's this warm. I think he's going to cramp up on the sidelines anytime soon. Indy asking for the offside flag. Don't get it here. Good read by Afemu. Yet again. Lindley lifts it for Foster. Foster has Collier and Chizza to his right. Foster widens, tries to play it across, couldn't get it through. Elects to keep it in play. Does not want to wait for the throw in. Foster playing kind of opposite side where he normally plays as well. Does Murphy have a go from distance? No. O'Brien also does look to call his own number. And frankly, in a match like this, I think I'm taking that shot from 20 yards out.
Yeah, I think Coach McCauley wants White to be playing a little bit higher and kind of get in supporting that attack.
Collier. Murphy. Back to Collier. Collier. Again Murphy. Now it's Foster. Foster stays up. Not enough in it. Not enough in it at the edge of the 18. Stojanovic. Zhao is on. Takes it back to the right side. Plays it across, and guess who? Afemu.
Yeah, this game's opened up here, Ray. Back and forth. Midfield barely exists.
He may just be one in it yet. And Collier draws the contact. And now Knight Pickering before the restart for the Indy 11. Pickering will be brought on. Rodriguez, he of the brace last week, will exit. Both teams have used all of their substitutions. Pickering, his appearance brought to us by the Morales Group and Morales Group staffing, offering flexibility in both staffing and operational efficiencies. By the way, this portion of the match brought to us by the Keystone Group, specializing in transformation developments, construction management, and investments. Pickering almost got one on his first touch of the match. Is there some late match magic for the Indy 11? It has happened in terms of finding an equalizer. A Rosarena, which is deemed to have done just enough to throw him off there.
Quarterbacks are equivalent to goalkeepers for American football watchers. If there's much contact there, flags being thrown in football and the foul is being called in football.
Hydration break and numerous substitutions. We've still got some time left to go on this one. This score is going to be the exact same as the last time that Vegas came here back in early 2023. O'Brien is fouled by Pickering. Indy restarts quickly. You always think a road draw favors the team away from home. Collier plays it across. Chiza just couldn't get to it in time. Credit to Rosarena for the read.
Good little sequence by Elliott. I love Cam Lindley just trying to get on the ball, get it moving, keep the tempo high. You saw the foul was called down here. He gets it. He puts his hand on. He plays it to Murphy. Murphy over to Elliott. Elliott beats his guy, goes down the end line, tries to get a cross off. Almost a fruitful sequence there, but that Indy needs a little bit more of that. Play a little bit quicker, find the wide guys with some space and isolation to attack the defenders.
Looking for the best deal in town, check out the all-new Pabst Blue Ribbon Deck next time you're at Carroll Stadium. Enjoy $3 PBRs all game long. Tickets available at Ticketmaster.com or the Indy 11 box office. Day of game, Pabst Blue Ribbon, because you deserve a blue ribbon. Just kind of nods and shrugs and says, yep. Foster sends that back to the head coach, and head coach then rolls that ball back in play. We play on.
Yeah, coach rolls the ball onto the field to try to stop the play. Actually love that from Foster, kind of giving it right back to him.
And maybe the impetuousness of a interim head coach who is 28 years old. What an opportunity for Giovanni Troise.
Great ball in.
Opportunity here for the Indy 11. Collier, which is inside of the 18. Collier plays it across, finds Foster. Foster has O'Brien. O'Brien lines it up. Couldn't keep it on target. His last goal was against Pittsburgh over a year ago. But again, given the lack of opportunities for both teams, I love. So we'll start to glance towards the fourth official. See exactly how much additional time we're looking at in this one. There has not been a draw in the championship this week. Maybe the first one here. If it holds up this way, it's a third consecutive clean sheet for the Indy 11. That you smile about, given the problems they had in allowing goals all season long. And obviously, offense has been missing. Foster on the cutback. Lindley. Hayden White. Foster again. Collier, and flag stays down. Stojanovic was onside. Timed the run perfectly. Two defenders got in the way. Not done yet. Sitting at the edge of the 18. Pickering gives it to Vegas in the 90th minute. The 20-year-old gets the goal for Las Vegas, and it's 1-0 for the Lights. Two defenders race back. They both went to Stojanovic. Pickering was all by his lonesome back post. And when the ball caromed his way, able to calmly slot it home.
Absolutely gut-wrenching goal for Indy 11. Ofemu certainly frustrated after that 70-yard track back, only to find the Las Vegas Knights player wide open on the far side after making the initial block.
4 minutes left to go in this match. 4 additional minutes for Indy 11 trying to track back one. What could Indy have done differently in that scenario?
It's tough. 2 guys went to the ball, but not to say they both shouldn't have. Like, that was the most dangerous player at the time. Now the deflection goes right back to the guy. Crosses it over to a wide open player. He does a great job with his opportunity. Gets it by Solt. You know, I think, could someone else have tracked back and been there for the pass back across is kind of the thought in my head. But they've been dangerous. Vegas has been dangerous on that type of play all game, right? That kind of direct, no-nothing ball over the top that lead to something. I know Indy wanted an offsides, but he was on his own half when that ball was played.
Foster. Lindley lets it roll through. McRobb got a touch to it, and Indy got a touch with an extended arm. Player down for Las Vegas, and frankly, given the heat and humidity of today, I'm surprised we have not seen more of this during the course of this match.
Yeah, me too.
It's Nigro, the player that
played a full game.
Yep, certainly given it his all tonight. Well, we're going to see more than 4 because of when the goal was scored and a little bit of an injury break there. Indy had momentum on their side heading in, but just unable to generate enough offense tonight. And the Lights just kept hanging around. And again, make no mistake, they've had the better of the chances in the second half. That one was played towards the Indy 11 suite. O'Brien and Lindley, the combination play. Good couple of wins by O'Brien, but can't do anything with it. And just blasted towards the Indianapolis Zoo. And Solt. A Howard-like throw to find White.
Great outlet.
Foster with speed to burn on his preferred side. Foster plays it across, and that will be a corner for the Indy 11. And now it's time to throw everybody not named Hunter Solt in and around the 18-yard box. Solt will come up to midfield, no further as of now. You've got Lindley hanging around the edge of the 18. He has scored from that area earlier this month. Indy works quickly, bending ball to 6, headed down by Ofemu. Asked for a handball, but no way where the official was could he see that. Vegas could not keep it in play. It will be a throw-in for the Indy 11. We'll show you the replay while we monitor live action here.
Yeah.
Arozarena is down, by the way. So we'll have some additional time added on here as the keeper is down for Las Vegas.
That last one, Indy was looking for a handball. Looked like it was off the defender's shoulder there. I think there's one more chance maybe for Indy coming off this throw. Wouldn't be surprised if Musa walks over and tries to kind of long throw it into the box close to that near 6.
Chance for everybody to get a little extra water here for the closing seconds of this one. Well, simply put, the Indy 11 results have been better away from home than they have been here. And kind of bafflingly, that is the case again tonight. Credit Vegas, they played their game and played it well. And it was on the counter where they eventually got the win. What appears to be a win, if nothing less a road point in the 90th minute.
Kind of that balance I was talking about early in the game, Rake, right? Where it's, you want to score, so you want to throw your right back into the attack. You want to throw your left back into the attack. You want some of the center mids to get in the attack. But if 2 out of the 3 or all 3 out of those 3 are in the attack, then you're really exposed in the back. That's what happened on the Lights goal, excuse me.
Musa told to back it up. And we are well past 4 minutes. How much is left? Only one man knows. That's Jay Riggs. That will be a corner, and I would even encourage Hunter Salt to get up for this one. You bring, as this has got to be the end right here.
Yeah, why not?
Any ball that is swept backwards, you've got to think is the end of the match. And it's Murphy who will steer it in. Murphy delivers edge of the 6. Vegas gets there first. Does Lindley take a touch? We play on. Murphy. Ball blocked on the cross. Headed down. Lindley steers in. And now Vegas. Zhao. Can they make it 2? On the cutback. Left foot. Bends it around. But again, absolutely the dying embers.
Yeah, surprised this one hasn't been called. He might give Indy one more.
There was a glance at the wristwatch on the way up the park.
Gonna have to do it quick.
You've got one opportunity.
Dangerous
Shiza
ball.
has McRobb in support. Foster. Foster gives it a hit, doesn't get through. That's it. Road win for the Las Vegas Lights. They make it 2 in a row. The winning streak ends at 2 for the Indy 11. It took north of 96 minutes, but the Las Vegas Lights continue their success against the Indy 11. They have pulled a possible 7 points out of 9 over their matchups in 3 seasons. Both teams exhausted at the end of this one. The Las Vegas Lights 1 and the Indy 11-0. There will be handshakes shared, but right now it's guys looking for water and or oxygen at this point after this one. Post-match coverage comes your way next on Wish TV and the CBS Golazo Network.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the express written consent of the United Soccer League.
Every play